The alleged perpetrators of the railway sabotage in Poland 2 weeks ago were able to enter and leave Poland by bus unhindered through an official border crossing and using their authentic passports. They did so even though one of them had already been convicted of sabotage in Ukraine on behalf of the Russian secret services. They arrived, did their business and, undisturbed by any Polish services, calmly returned to Belarus. In just one night, these saboteurs working for the Russian GRU discredited the Polish services. This shows the weakness of the Polish state and its lack of concern for its citizens. The attacks we have seen recently, acts of sabotage, will continue to happen as long as we have an open border to the east. How is this possible? It turns out that after almost 4 years of war beyond our eastern border, Poland still does not have a system for exchanging information with Ukraine. For so many years, both the current government and, unfortunately, the previous one have been unable to sign appropriate agreements with Ukraine on the exchange of information that would protect against the influx of dangerous individuals. These events took place 2 weeks ago. Several acts of sabotage took place on the Warsaw-Lublin railway line leading onwards into Ukraine. The most serious, involving the use of explosives, could have caused a catastrophe and the death of hundreds of Polish railway passengers. The perpetrators were identified but not caught. Both Yevgeny and Alexander K. entered and left Poland by bus on the basis of genuine documents, that is, using their real identities. At a time of hybrid war being waged against Poland, the Polish authorities actually allowed saboteurs working for the enemy to enter and leave the country. This was admitted today by Marcin Kierwiński, Minister of Internal Affairs and Administration. And do you already know how these people entered the country and whether they entered on their own passports and left Poland on their own passports? Everything points to that. For the sake of the investigation, I will answer yes. Everything points to that. We will talk. We are already talking to the Ukrainian side so that the situation where someone who is convicted of sabotage there and is not marked in international systems never happens again. In my opinion, this is a huge oversight on the part of the secret services, because it cannot be the case that we do not know that such people, who are clearly members of the Russian secret services, are entering our country. They should not be allowed to cross our border, or they should simply be detained. That's not all. The identity of one of the saboteurs was first established by the news agency niezależne.pl. Our journalists following this type of case know that there are websites where you can check this kind of thing. The name of the man who entered Poland on the same document was listed on American and Canadian websites showing Russian saboteurs who are carrying out similar actions in Ukraine during the war. This is Yevgeny Ivanov. He is a resident of Belgorod, Russia. In 2024, he was recruited by the Russian secret services. He allegedly coordinated an attempt to sabotage a Ukrainian drone factory. After analysing the Ukrainian media, we came across Yevgeny Ivanov. In July 2024, the court reporter described his activities on behalf of the Russian secret services. The first name and first letter of the surname matched the information provided by the prosecutor. His age also corresponded to the man we described. The sabotage operation at the drone factory was thwarted by the Ukrainian secret services. In May 2025, Ivanov was convicted by a court in Lviv. Journalists' findings also indicate that Ivanov's case officer was Yuri Sizov, a GRU officer. Conclusion? The Polish state and its services are aware of the enormous threat, but are unable to prevent it. What was before 2015 has returned. They are dismantling state institutions. They are leading the Polish state to ruin with their governing. Back in 2012, the current deputy head of the Internal Security Agency, responsible for counterintelligence, Colonel Krzysztof Dusha, participated in the famous drinking party with SSB agents. He has a job in Donald Tusk's office where he was supposed to deal with Russian influence. Apparently they produced a report which cost 3 million zloty. And the report is classified because, as I understand it, it is compromising. The incompetence, or some would argue malice, of government services under Tusk's government comes at the expense of the security not just of Poland, but of the entire European Union. Because if people who have been convicted of working for the Russian secret services can cross our Polish border without any problems and travel through our country without any problems, they can also travel through other countries, because we have the Schengen area. No one checks them, so this is really a very serious problem. European visa systems, the Schengen information system and the visa information system will only work if border countries such as Poland enter the data of foreigners entering Europe.
Właśnie jestem po kontroli poselskiej w Ministerstwie Obrony Narodowej.
The inspection carried out by Polish MP Andrzej Śliwka at the Ministry of National Defence did not go very well either. He wanted to check what projects would receive the 180 billion zloty from the SAFE programme, who would earn this money and how much of it would remain in Poland.
Nie ma żadnego wiceministra, no bo...
There is no deputy minister present because it's Monday, and what's worse, the ministry doesn't know where this document is physically located, where this application for 180 billion zloty is. Unfortunately, those in power are afraid to answer these questions. Meanwhile, Russia is testing our reactions more and more broadly. On Friday, 4 Russian MiG-31 fighter jets flew towards the Polish border. They only changed course after 2 Patriot batteries were activated in Rzeszów, and NATO's air defence systems were put on high alert.